Hey guys, so I'm gonna create a tutorial about my particular tactics when sniping. This is a solo match. So first thing I did was open up a bunker. Usually this gives you enough money for the loadout almost immediately. In this case it did. You'll notice I'm getting self-revive, some decent weapons and stuff to survive on until I get my loadie. The main concern here, whenever you're doing all this, you have to have a keen eye and ear for potential threats, because a lot of times you can't hear it while you're doing all this looting. So just be prepared, and you'll notice as I leave the bunker, I'm very careful to go slow, listen for footsteps, yada yada. And it worked out pretty good because up here at the entrance, there's I think this guy was a bot potentially. He didn't respond very quickly whenever he saw me, or if he saw me, I don't know. Generally speaking, I like to try to keep this helicopter. If it spawns, it's right above the buy station near Bunker Zero. That was a really rough landing, apparently. So after you buy your loadie, if you've got enough, definitely get you a munitions box. If your perks don't have the scavenger, um, you need that munitions box so that you're set up. This was definitely a bot. So got my loadie, got my munitions box, got my extra armor plate box. At this point I'm just trying not to die because there's three. Now two of these were bots. The third one was a player. Bots generally don't get on vehicles, and you'll see that happen. Alright, so get these three killed. I'm trying to get the hell out of Dodge. I didn't go very far because immediately there's a series of bots and real players in the immediate surroundings. So when you're sniping, you have to prioritize your targets, right? Priority goes real players, then bots, and then distance. The closer, the bigger the threat. So you definitely want to make sure what you're shooting at is a higher priority. Um, I'm tracking this guy, but I'm also tracking the guy to my left, the guy in the hill. The guy in the hill is likely a real player. The guy that I was tracking down low is a bot. So I prioritize the real player even though they're at distance. Now you'll see I'll switch mine to immediately that guy up close. Don't know if he's a bot or a real player, so that's priority. He keeps running after the shot, probably a real player. Just listening for any audio cues to where people are. And I keep a close eye on the number of players still in the lobby. The lower the number, the safer it is to move, right? So unless I absolutely have to move, I try to let that number drop as much as possible. Definitely a bot. And sometimes you have to do this. That's why it's very important to be selective with your scope. This scope has a very small glint, so at these distances, unnoticeable. Like you can't see it. You can use a 12 time scope, but sometimes it's a hindrance when trying to track multiple targets because you can't keep that up because they'll see the glint. Now obviously we all saw that guy running, and there's another one. Potentially both bots. The reason why I'm moving erratically like that is someone popped a UAV. The ghost perk, as long as you're moving, you'll stay off radar unless it's an advanced UAV, in which case you'll get the dot but they won't get the arrow. And you'll see I'm focusing on this guy even though I'm getting shot. The person shooting me is a bot. So priority real player, then bot, right? Now I cracked him, pop smoke. I could keep tracking, but it's really difficult while being shot at. So at some point I have to take the risk, move, get this guy out of my way, reposition myself, and hope I didn't get spotted. I did not get spotted. but I didn't feel comfortable, so I repositioned after plating up. And it's a good thing I did, because as I move back here to prepare for the circle to close, I can hear vehicles, and so I'm scanning, nothing behind me. And you can hear the audio cues. Unfortunately, GG didn't record in-game audio, so it's kind of difficult to hear that here. Rather impossible. So nothing there. Then I turn around. Voila, there he is. Now this is a real player. How do you know he's a real player? Because he just got out of that vehicle. Now you're like, well, why are you going back the opposite direction of away from the smoke? Well, because if you look at your radar, you've got at least 2 bots, potentially 2 bots, 1 real player. So before I leave my flank open to get snuck up on, I want to at least increase my opportunities of that not happening. So I scan the area, looking for any kind of movement. There we go. There's 1. Remember, there was 3. So I zoom in, looking at these gas stations, buildings, everything. So you don't have to move your scope to look at your peripherals. You look at the left and the right, you can see the tops of buildings, tops of houses, towers, all that shit. So definitely, like, while you're zoomed in on one spot, especially if you're tracking someone, don't hesitate to look at your peripherals. Like if you look in the peripheral left here, I saw that glint and I knew that guy was scoped up, so I just kept on sprinting. Right, stop here, no glint. He can't see me here, so I know he's down low. So my move is, do I go back up high, or do I try to get on even plane with him? I get on even plane with him, and then if I can not get shot at, bam, got him. Alright, so that clears me up to about that location. I sprint pretty close to that location, stop, and scan. This guy is running around. Now you notice sometimes I'll track with the AR, and that's because the optic I'm using is lensless, which means no chance of glint, right? So sometimes it's beneficial to track with something like that if it's close enough. Now with these final circles, if you think it's smart, there's a good chance other people think it's smart. So if you're stopping on the edges of circles, there's a good chance other people are stopping on the edges of circles. So like I said, the lower the number, the safer it is to move. So you just let them kill each other if you can. That was a target of opportunity. We're down to the final, I think this was 3 or 4. Yeah, that's right, one of them kills another, and then it goes down to 3. Not a whole lot of foliage here. I decided to risk it in the tall grass. At this distance, I'm really playing with fire with that scope, because they could potentially see the glint. So once you start shooting, you don't stop until you get the kill. All someone needs is distance, direction to find out where you're at, right? So in this case, they just need direction because distance is not much. Final kill. And that about sums it up. Any questions? Please leave in the comments. Please like and subscribe.